I wanna be a billionaire so freaking bad. Buy all of the things I never had. I wanna be on the cover of Forbes magazine, smiling next to Oprah and the Queen.
Welcome back to the Credit Gal Show on your hometown station, AM 1220, KHTS. I'm your host, Darbe Nokes, and I was talking with Sandy Bowie and with Union Bank, commercial lending. And we were just talking about basically, how does your personal credit score affect the commercial loan application? You gave us some few examples of what is not acceptable. And you had mentioned one other about a husband and wife situation.
Yes, I had a situation recently where I had good business cash flow, and the husband's credit was very strong, but the wife's credit was very weak because it was in 2008 when, the economy, stuff happened.
Right.
And apparently, the husband had gone to a credit restoration company,
like mine.
Yes,
probably mine.
They did an amazing job.
Right.
I mean, he had no collection accounts, no past dues, but the wife, hers was littered, and so because it was a strong weakness, I had to turn the credit away. It was unfortunate we weren't able to do that refinance.
And that's crazy because your husband having an 800 score. And then, but it's a together thing. You're married, you're filing, you're in business.
It's still two separate scores.
It's two separate scores. And that's a very important comment. My company has been working with people for about 10 years, including myself. I'm a satisfied client. We basically leverage our rights under the Fair Credit Reporting Act. It's a law that says we consumers can dispute anything on our credit report, whether it be true or not. And the $4 billion privately held companies that we allowed to put financial gossip on our credit reports have 30 days to open that investigation and answer. But guess what, girls? They do that wrong 80% of the time.
Yep.
So in that case, hopefully, Sandy, you can refer that client to us, and we can help them, and then we can give them back to you.
Absolutely.
So I would like to segue into, what is the bank's basic lending criteria on a commercial real estate loan? I mean, what is the criteria? I think some people just go in and they don't have any idea.
The basic lending criteria is we look for a minimum of 3 years in business.
Okay.
I'm looking for, the bank is looking for profitability. So if I have 3 years worth of losses, I have no cash flow to service my debt.
Right.
I look for, I need an understanding of the industry. So, there are some industries that are more risky than others, of course. Construction, for example, residential construction, it's been a challenged industry. Yes. So I really have to make a good case to my underwriter. Why should I lend to someone in that industry? Maybe they found a niche. Right. In that particular market. And so back to the communication of the story.
Okay.
So that's the lending criteria, we want a business owner who has experience in the industry. Maybe he worked for a major competitor for 20 years, and he, recently started 3 or 4 years in business for himself.
Okay.
And, we see... We're going to
experience.
We're going to ask about revenue trends. So the expectation is that revenues are increasing. But if the revenues or the gross margins, so after you take revenues minus cost of goods sold, those margins, if they're decreasing, I need an understanding of why and why it's not going to repeat. Why is that business why are you going to be able to repay Union Bank loan? That's what I need to explain to my underwriter.
And that makes complete sense. So once again, it's a relationship, right?
Yes.
It's a very important relationship with your bank. And what are the considerations for a conventional real estate loan?
So there are two types of commercial owner-occupied real estate loans. So meaning that the owner's business will occupy a minimum of 50% of that property so they can have third-party tenants. Now, let me distinguish. A conventional real estate loan is where only the bank, so for example, only Union Bank has the loan on it, is the lien holder.
Okay.
So that's where someone has to put down 25%. Typically, the loan to value, so we will lend 75% of the appraised value.
And would you call that a line of credit?
No. That's a permanent loan. So typically, term being 10-year term,
Okay.
25-year amortization. It can be a 15-year fully amortizing, something of that nature. It's a longer term commercial real estate loan. Now, that's different than an SBA loan. So there are two types of SBA loans. There's an SBA 7A and there's an SBA 504. The 504 is specifically for commercial real estate. And the nice feature of that is that a business owner only has to put down 10%. So they're for purchases, this SBA 504, not for refinances, because a lot of
Commercial purchases. We're
Yes.
talking about buildings,
Correct.
apartment complexes, and things of
not
that
apartment complexes.
Buildings.
Correct.
Buildings.
It has to be, I'm sorry, a retail building, a commercial building.
Okay.
So not investment properties. I'm distinguishing. An apartment building would be
An investment
So
property.
a different animal.
Okay.
Okay. Apples and oranges.
I gotcha.
So the SBA 504 product, a business owner only needs to put down 10%. It's basically 90% financing. More in fees, though.
Yeah.
But it's a nice option for a business
It
owner.
sounds incredibly nice. I
Yes.
mean, I think a lot of people don't know this.
Yeah.
And that they would have an opportunity to go out there and make a good business decision in their situation, especially if they've been in business for quite some time. And have the
Absolutely.
situation of looking at, their long-term exit plan here.
Yes.
And things of that nature. They can gain
There's
some
in
money.
fact not enough inventory on the market to meet the demand at this time. I mean, I communicate with a lot of commercial
there's
brokers.
not enough
No. I mean, Valencia specifically is an amazing, they have
Yes.
amazing commercial real estate, like little hubs throughout the valley. And there's just, more demand than supply.
Well, I guess we need more people to build stuff.
Yes,
Well, well, we'll be right back. You're listening to the Credit Gal on your hometown station, AM 1220, KHTS.